Hi there! Before we start with this course, I will teach you some tricks that have worked for me in my English classes. Tip 1. Create a bond. When you first meet students, they're often shy, feel intimidated, or are scared they won't understand you. Ask questions and find ways to bond with them. One of the ways I've had much success with starting a new class is asking what sort of music and English they like. I then take notes and create a music quiz for them to fill out the blanks. Familiarity works very well. Tip 2. Create a fun and safe environment. We want our students to look forward to our class, and a way to ensure that is to make the learning environment a positive and fun place where it's safe to make mistakes. One way to do this is through icebreakers. Invite your students to stand in a circle and go around stating a truth about themselves. You can lead the way with a small confession, such as, "I'm a terrible dancer," or "I have found that English is a difficult language to learn." Anyone who agrees with your statement must take a step forward. This will signal to your students that this is a place where they can mess up, and that's perfectly okay. Tip 3. Have routines. In English classes, it's important to have routines. I write daily objectives on the board, explain what will be done that day, and if all goes well, we have some game time at the end of class. A couple of games I like to use are Banco and Bachillerato. Banco is great because students practice saying numbers rapidly, which trains the brain to think more in English. Bachillerato is quite a challenge since students have to think of words in English that they haven't considered before, such as movie titles. Both are great ways to end your class on a high note. Tip 4. Practice different teaching strategies. Many times we have classes with kids of different English levels. How can we adapt to make sure the students don't get left behind or, on the contrary, get bored? Personally, I recommend to split the students in pairs or small groups of mixed levels. That way, students with lower levels of English can improve with the help of their classmates. For students with a higher level of English, I'll usually ask them to decide if they would like to be videotaped or audibly recorded during an exercise, as an example of a real-life scenario role play. This way, higher level students can self-improve by hearing or seeing their material. These methods foster the ability of peer tutoring, and they also help students keep track of their progress. And lastly, tip 5, teach by doing. Be the example you want your students to follow. If you're doing an assignment on reading, use a voice they've never heard before. If you're acting, be playful or dramatic. You want your students to get their creative juices flowing. If you're writing, write clear and neat with lots of detailed sentences. Give a preview of how it's done and set the expectations. It's natural for young learners, like our students, to think what's set before them will be difficult, but seeing it done easily by their teacher encourages them to do it themselves. Good luck, teachers, and have a great class.